Hey guys, let's get started with the writing in the DBQ specifically. I submitted Mr. Welch's PowerPoint, but I guess a lot of you guys are having trouble accessing it. So I'll launch into it. I decided to do this video to explain it to you guys. So what we're looking at here is the rubric for the DBQ, and it's a 7-point rubric. You get a point for the thesis. And then you get a point. So, okay, first of all, let me kind of give you the framework by which I want you to start addressing the writing. Um, Guys, because they give you a rubric, your job is to go through the rubric and maximize the points you get in each category. Okay, you want to get the thesis point. You want to get the contextualization point. You want to be able to get all 3 points for evidence, and you want to get all 2 points for reasoning. The reason why you want to look at it as a rubric, because guys, if you don't know what you're writing about, you can still get points. You can write a thesis, even if you don't know a whole lot about the topic. You can write a thesis and get the point for that. You might have trouble with the context, but that would probably be if you didn't know a lot about the background history. Guys, even in DBQ, they're going to give you documents that will probably jog your memory. You should be able to put together some context, assuming you know some stuff. It might be the most difficult part. Today we're just going to go over thesis and context, but I'll tell you, I'm going to give you a brief overview. You should be able to get all 3 points for evidence, and I'll tell you why when we get to that part of the when we start practicing the evidence part, the body paragraphs of the DBQ, and we'll get into the end of the analysis and reasoning points. But you should, if you look at this as trying to maximize your points to the rubric, it starts to become easier to salvage a bad situation. Let me give you the worst situation. You get a DBQ. The DBQ will be easier because you'll have documents that should help you. Even if you don't know a whole lot, most of you guys could take the documents and use them to put together an argument. But let's say the worst case scenario, you didn't know, even with the documents, you still at a loss. Guys, that should probably only cost you maybe 1-2 points at top. That still means you can get a 4 or 5 out of 7. You should know how to write a thesis, right? You should know how to put some context in, and hopefully, you're able to do that because context means you got to know some stuff. But we'll get into that in a second. You should all be able to get 3 points on evidence. You should be able to get points in reasoning. So understand this: you have a task, and your task is to get the maximum points for each one of these categories. Okay, and along the way, hopefully you're writing a good essay, right? But you get the maximum. I mean, you want to max out each one of these points. Okay, so that's important you understand that. Okay, so let's go into this. So I broke down your introduction paragraph, which is the most important paragraph of your paper. Now, the first thing to understand is what a thesis is. So, look, you're going to be giving every writing topic you're going to be given is going to be a debatable topic. Okay, you're going to be given a situation where you have to take a stand. You could take either stand. You could be here, you could be here, but you must take a stand. It is not a statement of fact. A thesis statement is not, the sky is blue. Most cases we know the sky is blue, right? We don't need you to tell us that. That's not a debatable position. What is a debatable position? Should gay marriage be legal? Well, yes or no. I mean, you could take either stance, but you're going to be debating it either way. So yes, gay marriage should be legal. No, gay marriage should not be legal. Okay. So a thesis statement takes a debatable position. Okay, that's important. You understand that. College Board makes that easy because every topic they give you is going to be debatable, but you must take a stand. You are not stating fact. They're two different things. Okay, the purpose of your paper is to support your stand. You're going to take a controversial stand and use your paper to support it. That's all the writing we do in APUSH. Okay. All right, now there's three parts to your introduction paragraph. Your first sentence is a grabber sentence. It's meant to grab the reader's attention. Um, I'm sure some of your English teachers can give better examples of this than I can. Uh, but your grabber sentence. Some people say this is optional. You could probably wrap this up in historical context. To be honest, I don't really know if you need a grabber sentence. I've seen it suggested that you should. To be honest, I think you might be able to wrap that up into historical context. Okay, but you must have historical context. Grabber sentence is optional. I don't know if you really need it, to be honest with you. Um, in fact, I kind of wish I wouldn't have put it in my example I give you here. The historical context is not debatable. Okay, it is not. Um, it's not optional. It is mandatory. You must have it. You get a point for having historical context. So, what is historical? By the way, our historical context always goes in our introduction paragraph. It's the who, what, when, why, where of the essay. It's giving the background of the essay. It's introducing the controversy of the essay. It's giving some of the story of the essay. Okay. I don't think you have to answer who, what, when, where, why, how. It's just that if you don't understand what context is, it means you got to give some of the background history. You have to explain what's kind of going on with this issue. If they're talking about gay marriage, which I'm going to give you the example here, you have to talk about some of the why, what happened here, tell me a little bit of the history of this. Okay, so you're giving the history of the question. Now, so that should be about 2 to 3 sentences. Okay, historical context should be 2 to 3 sentences. Now, your thesis formula. Okay, I want you to understand this. I've already explained that your thesis must be a debatable position, but um, there's a formula we follow. And the way to look at that is X, however, AB. Oops, I want to get rid of C. I don't want that there. I used to give 3 reasons. I don't do that anymore. Now I only give 2. I'll explain why. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. I should have caught that before starting this. All right. So X is a counter argument. However, A and B, now A and B are the reasons why you think you are correct. Therefore, why? Okay. Counter argument. Now, what's a counter argument? That is one reason why you could be wrong. One reason that contradicts your thesis. One reason that could be used against you. Like if you were arguing the opposite point of view, what would you say? Okay. So, X. So you're going to give one reason why, one reason against your argument. However, A and B, therefore why. A and B are the 2 reasons why you think you are correct, and then therefore your thesis. Now, I know that it gets a little bit complicated, but let me show you what that looks like. It's not that bad, guys. Okay, so let me move this because you can't read my paragraph. All right, so let's take the issue of gay marriage. Should it be legal? All right, should gay marriage be legal? So my thesis will be gay people should be married. Gay people should be able to marry. So that's why. Okay. What's a counter argument against that? Well, there are a lot of people that believe God. Most of the arguments I see against gay marriage are religious arguments. So it's like God hates gay marriage. Okay. What are the reasons I think I should be? I'm correct. Well, we're talking about natural rights here, civil rights. They're citizens like everybody else. So that's one argument. The other argument is that we don't live in a theocracy where religion dictates our lives. We should be able to, there should be some type of wall of separation between people's religions and people's civil liberties. Where that line is, that's debatable. So those are the two reasons I will argue I'm correct. Okay, so what does that look like when we put it together? Okay, here. So we'll start with our counter argument. There are some people that believe gay marriage should be illegal because it is an insult in the eyes of God. Okay, we put that there first. Okay, however, I combine these two, by the way. Gay people deserve the same rights as all other citizens. A, right? That's A, despite the religious views of some Americans. That's B. I combined them, guys. You could turn those, I mean, you could word it differently. You could have said, and, and religion should not dominate our society and dictate who can marry and who can't. Okay. Now we get to, now we get to our thesis statement. It is for these reasons that gay marriage should be legal. Oops. God, I had to proofread my own stuff. See, it's important, guys. Should be legal in the United States. Okay. So this is an example of a thesis formula. Okay. I want you to think of a thesis statement as you're introducing the outline of your paper. Okay. It's not one statement, it's a formula. Because what's going to happen is we're going to take a counter argument and we're going to make a paragraph addressing that. Okay. We're going to make our two reasons and we're going to turn each one of those into paragraphs. Okay. So you're basically outlining your paper using your thesis formula. Okay. We're shooting for a 5-paragraph paper here. Okay. Now, the thesis statement gives my position on this. How do I feel about gay marriage? It is for these reasons that gay marriage should be legal in the United States. Okay. All right. So what would that look like all together? Let me move this again. So we're going to put it in together with the grabber and the context. Again, guys, I wrestle with the grabber. Why do I wrestle? Because I don't really like an introduction paragraph longer than 5 sentences. I think this one's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I probably should cut the grabber here. Some of you guys might be better with that than I've seen other people suggest you should have a grabber. I don't know if you really need it, but whatever. I'll let you decide, guys. If you don't put a grabber in, you start with just a context. I'm not going to have an issue with it. Okay. Let's start with my context. Gay marriage was illegally. Oh, sorry, geez. Let's start over again. Rewind. Gay marriage was initially illegal in all states. With the Stonewall riots in New York City in 1968, that began to change. The gay community, following the example of the civil rights movement, began to demand rights denied them due to their sexual orientation. So that's my context, okay? It gives a little bit of the history. Look, gay marriage was illegal, okay? Then there was a turning point, the Stonewall riots. Okay. And also this is going on at the same time as the civil rights movement. So you start to see, gay people assert themselves the same way Black people did in America. Okay. So now we get to my thesis formula. There are some people that believe gay marriage should be illegal because it is an insult in the eyes of God. However, gay people deserve the same rights as all other citizens, despite the religious views of some Americans. It is for these reasons that gay marriage should be illegal in the United States. Okay. So look, I know I went through this quickly. I think when you guys have time to go back, and if I was doing this in a class, we'd have interactive back and forth. It's one of the difficulties of kind of distance here. But I think you guys can get this. If you don't, you could leave some comments. And maybe we'll do a Zoom session on Wednesday to see if there's any questions. I'll say, and look, if anybody has questions, attend a Zoom session. And we'll get to it on Wednesday. But I'm going to post this up now, and hopefully, look, all you're doing is writing your introduction paragraphs. So I'm going to put that up on YouTube, and you guys can access it to write your introduction for the DPQ I posted. Okay. All right. I'll see you probably Wednesday. Take care.